My name is Clark Stevenson. It's 21st of December, 2011, and the accident I was in took place the night of, it had just turned December 11th, 2004, and we weren't speeding. There must have been a little black ice, and we were going around. We started fishtailing, and the next thing I know, everything went black, and we both woke up in the woods. When we skidded off the road, the car in front of us had seen the transformer blow. Because they said what happened was, we hit the embankment, and then the car went into the air and severed the phone pole. And they said the phone pole came down onto the front of the car, but the car was still moving, and it went forth and sawed the roof of the car off. So they said, had we been wearing our seatbelts, we'd have probably both been killed for sure. I woke up, and there was lots of flashing lights. There were guys hacking away at the brush with these long pickaxe-looking things, and all they kept yelling at me was to not move my neck. So I'm in the hospital, and I'm in the ICU, and they're explaining to me that I've broken, I believe it was 4 vertebrae, the C3, 4, 5, and 6. And they said, well, you have 2 options. We can do surgery. They said it's possible. They said it's extremely risky. They said we usually only do it with 1 fracture, not with multiple. They said your only option is to wear this halo thing. And they described, man. So I had that halo on for 87 days. Wow. And it was like having your head in a vice grip and somebody just cranking it over and over. Beyond that, after that was off, the pain was just, I mean, there were some days it was just incapacitating. Like, I really couldn't, anywhere that I would move it, there was just pain all the time. It was stiff, and the weird thing was the dizziness when I tried to lie down, because I was sitting up in this chair for 3 months, all I wanted to do was lay down. And the first time that I did, the whole room just went shoo. I'd never experienced dizziness like that before. It was unbelievable. And I really, until we met, I was under the impression that, and maybe it wasn't too far-fetched, but I was under the impression that my ability to still not only walk, but to live, to move all of my appendages, because like when I was sitting in the hospital, there was a different doctor to come in with these interns. It was a different group every single day, and they were like, "Hey, can you move your fingers? Can you move your toes?" And they're like, "Wow!" And then they'd leave, and that was it. A different team would come in the next day. So it was no. I mean, it was very quick that I realized how lucky I was, and so. You know, a lot of times I would just talk to myself about, stop complaining, quit complaining about the pain. You could be dead. You could be in a wheelchair. You could, at least you can move, So I figured that was the pain was my price for still being alive. So every single, some days were worse than others, but every single day, it was just burning and just stiffness and just, it just takes over. Man, because like then I couldn't stand for more than, maybe an hour or so. It's just burning. When I was standing there and talking to you, my neck was like on fire. It was so painful. And I looked over and I saw what you were doing and I was like, man, I wonder what mine looks like. At that point I was like, well, I'll try anything at this point, because I was, I had never actively sought out painkillers, and I was telling him I never really understood, okay, you got this pain here, so we're going to give you a painkiller to put a wall up here so that you can't feel what's down here, but it's still here. So, that didn't really make any sense to me, and you harm other organs by not being able to feel that pain, and the source of that pain is still there, so you could potentially, I don't know, injure yourself worse, or if you can't feel what's going on. So I came in here and we sat down, and I knew we had the infrared scanner, and I was like, oh, that's pretty high tech, that's pretty cool. And it obviously showed what was going on back here. very well. So we did that, and then I really liked the X-rays and the CAD diagram and the angles of where the bones are supposed to be. I thought that was really scientific. It was very precise, and that it wasn't just coming in and, oh, we're just gonna pop you real quick and that's it. You know, there's so much science behind it. And the most amazing thing learning was how the bones in the neck and any inflammation therein controls the entire body. That blew me away. I mean, I had no idea. And the communication between the brain and all the organs and how they function and how that could lead to other, you know, disorders and different common diseases that lots of people get, and whether it's caused by inflammation in the neck bones or not. He had told me a couple times, you know, were this not to be corrected, you're looking at serious complications, you know, in the not too distant future. And that was a real eye-opener. And
how long did it take you to start feeling better?
I mean, let's see, so the first few weeks it was like a couple times a week. I didn't really, I'm sure we could go back on the sign-in sheets and see where the numbers started to come down, but I mean, I would say, you know, a couple weeks, certainly less than a month. I mean, measured improvement. And you know, and the infrared scans alone would confirm that. And I didn't really mark it down like the exact day. I just remember a few times over the past few months, just like driving back from work and being used to, you know, being used to sitting and being annoyed by the traffic and being annoyed by the pain at the same time. Now it's just the traffic. So I did not think that it was ever going to go away. And it improved the dizziness too. Like, I can lay down on those tables in there now. And before, like, I had to sit up a few times and kind of go over to the side because I just couldn't do it. It was just, you know. So, but now it's like I don't even feel it. And it was just an amazing improvement. I didn't think it was possible. I mean, there's no substitute for not having pain. I mean, either you're gonna have pain or you're not gonna have pain. I mean, whether all of these degrees on the wall are totally fake, I have a hell of a lot less pain now than I did before, and the only difference is because I came in here very much. So, and if I can help get the word out to people that you know need to come in, and particularly those that are really injured. I mean, like I said, there's no, whether you believe, you know, whatever about chiropractors or, you know, different types of medicine, there's no substitute for results. It either is better or it isn't. And when you can go in and take x-rays and infrared scans and physically show that, you know, the numbers don't lie. And the feeling doesn't lie either. So that's bottom line. So it was the fact that, you know, in context with all of this, the fact that I was able to come in here and be alleviated of what I thought was going to be, or what I thought was the price that I had to pay for still being able to walk, it's a life changer. I mean, it's a complete reversal. I mean, it's just like you look at the world. I looked at the world a lot differently after that happened, as you can probably imagine. But not being in that kind of pain every day is it hasn't reduced any of my cynicism, generally speaking. But it has greatly improved my quality of life, and there's no substitute for that.